Awesome. And hey, post if you guys are with us. Let us know where you're at too. We've got so many people. Like lately, we're like, man, amped to hear from people. Obviously, we've got relatives and friends and connections in Sweden, all the way across the other side of the globe, right? But keep that conversation flowing. Let us know if you guys have any questions too through stuff that we covered today. But the main topic,
it's worry and it's negative effects.
ouch.
Yeah,
Ouch.
we wanted to hit on this whole series. It's the part 2 of the Rise series, and it's just a rising over
Yes.
fear. We felt like
Right
we were
on.
just supposed to come back to this topic of a rising because of everything that's going on in the
That's
world
right.
right now, and we just felt it strongly that
Yes.
it's time
Yes.
to just arise. It doesn't
Right.
matter how we might be feeling,
True.
how everything might be going on. We just
Totally.
want to encourage you and ourselves to just take that step to rise above the fear, the worry,
Yeah.
that heaviness,
That's
and
right.
just choose joy. We can still have joy even in the midst of it. I know there's a lot of people having going through. We're not trying to downplay what's going on.
Nope.
There's people that are dying, but we can still have joy in the midst, and knowing that this is going to pass.
Right.
We're going to get through this.
That's right.
And we're going to come out stronger, right, babe?
That's totally right. And exactly what we want to do is instill hope, instill, ignite where faith is getting crushed, hopes and dreams are just, wow, whoa, disappearing. Things are happening right now where people are getting affected and we're getting hit up constantly. We hear so much negativity, and fine, people can start to go in that direction, but is it helpful? That's the one thing I'm wondering. Does it really helping the situation, right? And we're all having to deal with things differently. People are scrambling. Families, I'm hearing, having to invest and put a bunch of money into things that they never had to before, or kids that are now home, families that have kids that are they're home constantly. What do we do with homeschool? We've never done this before. We've never had to be home locked in. I've been at the office on the regular. What do we do? Randomly going kind of in this mode of having to kind of pick up their bootstraps, right? But then do it in a fear setting or a worry setting or a oh no setting. How are we going to pay the bills? All these things. But we want to instill in you something that's going to be useful to you right here, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we
And
have
bring
totally
encouragement, bring and deliver words that are going to, like we talked about last week, change your mindset, bring you into a positive setting, thinking things through so that you're not hashing things and making hasty decisions in fear, as well as bringing hope. This instill the hope that we've been talking about last week, that you're not having to go from a fear factor that shuts you down, right? And go into no man's land by yourself, seclusion, things like that, disappear, where people around you need you.
Yeah.
We're here in that same context, realizing that with family, how important the time this is, and how valuable it is to be united against
Yep.
these things that are happening, right?
Yeah, and
And
just
taking and using these words in action, like using them in action and getting going and getting you going. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it really is. And we're listening. There's so many lives going on right now, which we love, because it's a way for us all to stay connected even in the midst of everything.
Right.
And so
Right.
we
That's
love
true.
lives. Our church has been just blasting lives all throughout the day. And
Yeah.
yesterday, our pastor, Dr. Matt, was on, and he was sharing this quote. I just wanted to share this really quick from Phil Pringle's book on peace. It's a book called Peace.
Yeah.
And it was so good, this line. It was saying that worms, it's kind of a little graphic, but
It is true.
worms will eat your flesh when you're dead, but worry will eat your flesh while you're alive.
Yeah.
And it's just that one line, just when Mike and I were listening to it yesterday, we were like, that's so true.
Yes.
Worry, when we let that
That's
in,
right.
it eats away at us, and we're not even dead yet. It's like there's not even anything there, and we're just, if we let those thoughts in, it's just eating away at our creativity.
Yeah.
It's eating away at our productivity. It's even eating away at your relationships. If you think about it, I know that when I get into a funk, and if I've sat on my phone for too long looking at the news, Mike has this, he's like, you go into the glaze zone, like where it's just like, whoa, like whoosh. And like, if you think about it, if we stay there too long in that glaze, like where we're in our heads, we're in those thoughts, then it can even, it weighs on our relationships. I'm not being that like the loving,
Whew.
fun wife or mom that I should be when
Oh,
when I
snap.
go into that,
Oh
right?
snap! Yeah.
He's like,
Here's
yeah.
our here's our my rendition of her. So she'll be like this.
Oh, geez.
Da da da. Yeah yeah. Yep. Type it up, and then all of a sudden she'll be kind of sinking into this like.
That's a pretty good. Okay. That is, and that's why I have time
What?
limits.
Sorry, did you say something?
I have time limits on my news consumption, and it's gotten a lot better. A lot better.
Yes, it
But-
has gotten
and that's
improved.
what, so we
because
are
fear,
sharing our
right?
stuff for real, legit. Like last week, that was all legit of stuff we're going through too. Just like watching what we feed our minds
that's
with,
right.
not just feeding our minds with news article after news article or news segment after news segment, but we're filling our mind with truth,
Yes.
with the Word of God, with just good stuff during this time, or else we can go into that that glue, that face.
It's so true. And Luann is on. What's happening,
Oh,
Luann? So
Nashville.
good. Straight from Nashville.
Woo.
So awesome. And hey, Luann, I'm sure there's stuff going on around you that, we're not just talking like it's just us here. Be honest with us. Is there stuff that you're seeing around your community out in Tennessee, right? What's happening there? What's
I know,
happening?
you guys got
'Cause
hit.
I'm sure this is like pretty
double.
heavy from back to back, the storm, and then boom, this lockdown and all that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome to hear from you about that.
Yeah, and your perspective and how you're handling
Yes.
just staying positive. I know I see your posts of like Holly making you dinner or just your positivity, your posts, and just love that. So any thoughts you have on just how you've been able to just navigate
Yes.
through the tornado hit and then
Totally.
this hitting
Totally.
and just staying just on the up and up, and so
Yeah.
that would be cool to hear.
I'd love to share this real quick, what even Dr. Matt was sharing. Do you have something that you were going to share also?
Yeah, we've got more stuff, but
Some
you
more
can.
from Dr. Matt?
No, not from Dr. Matt, you're awesome. But no, that was the main thing from Dr. Matt.
We love our friend. He's an awesome man of God, pastor, go-getter, teacher, speaker, entrepreneur, business owner, chiropractor, running like chain, basically this just man of action who gets things done. But he's also he's taken on things like just recently we heard him or saw him actually dancing with his wife, taking dance
On a
lessons.
live.
Crazy on
And
Instagram.
He
Awesome.
wants to take dance lessons now.
That's
so
solid.
anyways, he's a man of action. When
give
he
you props
he
for
just and he wants to be excellent at
Yes,
everything he does.
props to him for getting the
Yes.
bam moves on. That's awesome. So here's what he shared though that was pretty interesting in that whole psychology of man. He's definitely into man's thinking, brain, how things work, develop, and what goes on upstairs, how it affects the rest of us. And he's saying that in a human response, it's interesting how when something is presented, how things are received, like 7%, right, comes out of our verbal presence or presentation, what we're sharing. Right?
That's so 7% is actually communicated through what we say.
Right, communicated that way. Then 38%, right?
I don't know if we got all these numbers correct.
I'm pretty-
we were chilling
This
on the
is-
couch.
Yeah, we're listening. But around 38%, I think it was that inflection and tone, how it's presented, right, and received. We've got that 38% realm, and then 55%, right? Almost positive. That's what he said was visual presentation and body language. How we're acting. That's all of a sudden what takes on a new meaning to how we receive it. You watch someone do, like, I'm sure this happens even more in context to what's a situation that's happened, right? And then is someone going to take you seriously? Well, what you say, great. Okay, they're listening, but we're seeing 7%, that low side. Inflection and tone and what you're saying, like, I love you, I care for you, I want the best for you. You could just be spitting words and people going, But if you're saying with inflection, a certain way of saying it to that specific person, boom, it's received even more with the right
But
presented
then what
right.
happens when you got the body language
Body
involved,
language.
babe? Like,
Crazy.
so show me the difference. Like, so tell me I love you in like just I love you, and then let's see the difference. Let's see if I
Right.
feel the difference.
Okay,
Can you do
so
that? Give that example.
so we know. I mean, everybody knows friends, right? And he's like, instead of "How you doing," right? It's not that.
Oh,
Then she knows it's cheesy. It's like, come on, that just gets a laugh, right? But what if I say, "I love you,"
Aw.
and I mean
See,
it, right? I
he
really
got
do mean
all
it.
three. He got the
Oh,
inflection, he got the verbal communication, and then
bam!
the body language that I love you. But oh, Luann brought back.
Right
Oh, I
on.
love it.
Right? Still picking up. Okay, so that's incredible.
I love it, Luann.
Still picking up from tornado rubble right out there. That's incredible that you're still having to do these things,
Yeah.
motor through, and then action taking. That's the key too. That was just something that came out of this. It's taking action, not sitting around kind of just wallowing in the oh man, that's so crazy. It's so bad. It's so and just those words alone all of a sudden put the influence for the rest of what you do throughout the day. It could be,
Yeah.
you know.
I love what you said that the sun comes out after any storm. Best
Yes.
is yet to come.
Yes.
Love it, and I love how you're saying how
good.
blessed you are to see how awesome
Yes.
people are when they pull together as a team. And I'm so stoked that you're seeing that in your
Yes.
community, Luann. And I know that you're a big part of your community. And
Huge.
so we bless you. We pray a blessing over you and your family and your community as
Come
you
on.
rebuild and as you go through, what's going on now. So we love
good.
you. And
So good. Love you.
Yeah.
Miss you. Keep going after it,
Yeah.
man. That's what we're here to do is keep encouraging.
absolutely.
There was one other thing that we wanted to touch on.
Yes.
In this flow of overcoming fear, not letting worry set in.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. And it's when we wanted to talk about how like when we worry, when we sit there and like when Mike, you did a great example of me when we go into that funk of that kind of almost like this quicksand and mud of worry when we sink into that. When we do that, it's like taking steps towards what we don't want to even have happen.
Nope.
Because even though it might not be happening,
right.
but in our mind, we're playing it out as if it's happening.
Right.
And our body's releasing cortisol. We're getting our creativity, all our productivity, like we mentioned, our connection to those around
Right.
us. It's all coming down. And so
Yes.
we just want to encourage you guys and ourselves to catch ourselves, to be like, nope, not going. I'm not going to get in the funk. I'm not going to get in the glue.
No,
I'm going to come
down.
out. And and we have the action step is very practical to help any of you guys who feel that pull, that like sinking pull when you maybe have stayed on even social media too long and seen too many coronavirus posts
Right.
that have you like, oh, you just feel that like the pull.
Right.
And
Right.
so even social media can kind of, so whenever you find yourself just feeling that pull, that kind of just weight, we have an action step, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Very practical.
So here's one thing too I wanted to mention,
yes.
just a
Yes,
quick
yes.
mention. Just remembering something we were talking about the other day. Instead of like allowing stuff to come at you, right? Why not stop the process?
Are you gonna do the hit thing?
That would be okay. I'll let you touch on that.
The thing that you were telling me about, like in fighting. This is totally
Yes.
random. Like how if you come out and meet it.
Yes, exactly that.
That was a great example. You should share that. Sorry, that's what you
Thanks for right on. Well, that was an encouragement. Then I'm going in the right direction, right?
Sorry.
So here's what's crazy. So think about this. Instead of letting stuff just come at you, right? And it's typically what we're doing. Information comes in, we're processing. We kind of either go, oh snap, I got to do something, and make that shift and adjust and pivot. A lot of people talking about pivoting. That's great. But what about this? What about taking stuff that's coming at us and boom, preemptively go, stop. That's it. No more. Enough, right? Shut that down. Or the other way around is if we're just letting things come to us, look what happens. We get shut down. We get locked in. We get closed off. We all of a sudden, because of what happens around us, the circumstances, all of a sudden, boom, close us in. But the crazy thing comes from instruction and training, right? A long time training martial arts, and martial arts is such this discipline. Not that I am an expert in martial arts, because I've just done and practiced, right? But I have masters, guys who've taught us, that are way up here on skill level, trained for so many years, determined to like never give this to other, like, hey, this is precious. It's valuable. It's high level execution. We're not just teaching anybody kind of thing. And so the one thing that came out of some of these training sessions were how important the discipline of the mind is, more than the body. The body's going to get used to it, but that's conditioning, right? But the mind, you got to determine yourself to go for hours and hours and hours of doing one single move, right? For a number of weeks sometimes, just to get the understanding of what it's doing, what the full effects are, and how it should be executed. But the crazy thing was the punch. So sometimes throwing punches, those people who are big and powerful, they don't have to throw a lot of energy to do some damage and hurt people, right? And hit you, and you feel it. But here's the one thing that came through one of those quick defensive lessons. On the defense, it's also offensive. You actually, when someone throws a punch that's bigger than you, and you want to relieve that power and take away the power, you don't just dodge it, because here comes another one. But you instead engage and go forward into the action and push outward, meet them where the punch is at, and there goes the power.
So they don't have
remove
full,
the power.
like how you were
There is
explaining
no
to me,
full force behind
There's not full,
it.
because you've come out to meet it when it's still
Right.
back here in some way,
Right.
rather than giving it the full time, like the full momentum to come at you.
Yes.
And I thought that was so good. It's like
So good.
how we need to, when you were giving me that example, like how we need to come out and meet things, like not just
Yes.
stick our heads in the sand and be like, but
Right.
go on the offense, actually, not
Because-
just be on the
yes.
defense. I was like, maybe we just need to be on the defense and, set up our walls and protect ourselves and hibernate inside. But it's like, no, there's also times where you need to go out
right.
and be on the offense
That's
and
right.
go out and meet it. And
Meet it
I
where,
loved
right
that.
where, because think
Love
about
that.
this. Wisdom is one thing. Guy has a gun. Yeah, it's better to be like, hey, all right, you got me. I'm not going nowhere. Right? Don't be dumb. But
Oh.
when someone that's taking on this, like that whole bully mentality, and just wants to come start swinging at you, right? And that's why the way we kind of see this as this, like, this force with virus, with sicknesses around us, with people getting kind of like worried and stressed and don't touch me kind of thing. That's understandable to keep the numbers down, right? We
Yeah.
understand that. That's
Yeah.
wisdom. But when you go so far as to you becoming fearful and then being
Kind of trapped in your mind,
yes,
almost. You
no
become
longer
this like
mobile.
your joy is gone,
Oh, man.
your peace is gone.
Right.
You're losing parts of even your personality.
Yes.
Like it's just
Right.
getting just the color is going from your face and the joy from your life. Then it's taking this, what's happening in the world is taking way more
Yes.
than it should. And that's what we're talking about
Yes.
is
And then you
not
let
letting
that.
yeah.
You're letting that stuff take you on, beat you down like that bully, all the way to where you're just in a ball like a bully would be, picking on someone who's weaker, and they know they keep on doing it because that person's just going to cower and fall, and boom, they're the type that can allow them to be beat up and just hit the floor, kicking them and just crawl up in the ball, scared, crying, whatever. What about this? We've heard it many times, right? Of not letting the bully get the higher ground and taking advantage of you. But that's the key. If you go out and boom, go out to meet them where they're at and be like,
hey,
no,
no
done.
more. That can
You are
stop
done.
a bully in his tracks. And
That's right.
And that's kind of what we have to do right now with what's going on with
right.
being like, okay, I'm not going to let this fear bully me and torment me,
do it.
affect my sleep, affect my just anxiety levels, cortisol levels.
right.
I'm going to take back me and like my family life and
Yes.
and your relationships and the joy
right.
and
Yes.
and the even not shrinking back with your business
Nope.
and your dreams
Nope.
during this time. Like don't
Nope.
let that, like, this is gonna pass. We're gonna get through this.
Gosh.
And if you're healthy and you're isolated at home, like, use the time.
That's right.
The time that you've been given, and
That's
and
true.
that's what we just want to encourage you
Yes.
to do. I know that there's some people that can't use the time. They're out,
No.
they're working, they're on the front lines, or they're
Yes.
they're
Medical
in
teams.
essential jobs that need to keep working. Like, keep going, and we are so thankful for you.
Yes,
I can't even
absolutely.
tell you how thankful we are for you. We are
yeah.
praying for you daily, and
Yeah.
we just
Yes, we are praying
Yeah.
nonstop in that same context of like this stuff that's coming against us. We are shutting it down. We bind that stuff. We cast it off. It's not going to happen. But we are also praying fervently for the people who are affected, for people who are on the other side of this force that's going after. Hey, we're going to chop this off at the head. Whatever this virus is, the medical teams, the research teams, the people who are just out
we're
there on the
praying
front
for
lines,
wisdom,
treating
for
people.
them to have wisdom, and
Military as well, building up quick hospitals. It's
Yeah.
incredible what they've done.
Yeah.
I mean, we're friends with a lot of people that are still actively doing things, but it's just amazing. That's how our hearts are like, wow, how they're still getting stuff done. Why are we still sitting around doing nothing? That's the difference. We don't want that to happen.
No.
We don't want people to get stuck in the glue in this space of depression or
Yep.
feeling oppressed and feel like I'm just worthless. Well, life is tough. It's too gnarly. I lost my job. Things like that. We want that to be flipped on its head, because things can go right now. This is what's exciting. We've seen people go increase so well, do so well right now in the midst of all this. Their business, their brands.
Yeah, they're able to pivot. I know pivot
gosh.
is like the key word right now
Pivot,
in
right?
business. I can't
Pivot's a
tell you
big
how
one.
many emails we get about like like pivot. It's time to pivot your business.
Right,
Time to, if
change
you
your-
need to make a pivot. But it's really true. That's why
Yeah.
we're hearing it. And the ones who are pivoting or making
Yeah.
adjustments and taking action, not waiting until next week or next month,
Right.
but pivoting now,
Yes.
are the ones we're seeing doing the best. And so we just want to encourage
right.
you to not be scared, not be scared
No.
to adjust in your industry, in your
Heck no.
business right now.
No.
Now is the time to be innovative. Now
Yes.
is the time to
Right now.
serve. Now is the time to give. Do
That's true.
And
People need our help.
Yeah, and so, but when we're in fear, we
Oh,
lose that
snap.
creativity. We lose that innovation. We lose that desire to serve. We lose that sense of gratitude.
Right.
And so that's why we want to encourage you and us to
Yes.
stay away from worry, because that's going to hinder us
Mm-hmm.
in making those shifts in our business that we need to do. That's going to hinder us in loving our family the way we need to right now. I love one Dr. Matt thing he said. It was really cool. So he was saying how like worry and fear will release cortisol, stress,
Yes.
when we stress.
Booyah.
But then when we do stuff like this, when we hug
Or a
and you get a kiss,
smile. Yes.
it releases oxytocin in your body, which comes against and combats the cortisol in your body. And so hug, love, but when we're worried and we go in the glue, this isn't what we're wanting to do. So
that's right. We get up and give you a big old air hug and be like, come on, high fives. But just you alone choosing to say, I am going to get up and smile. I'm going to share. I'm going to be open. And here's the difference. When you just choose up here, you're like, that's it. I'm making a choice to do this. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm not going to just get stuck in the glue, right? That alone is a transition. That's your transition point. Then when you take a step to do it, take action, jump on your computer, get out your phone, smartphones, boom. That's your way to communicate to someone way over there. Or you got a list of contacts. Like he was saying, he's going through his list of contacts. Come on. He's like, I'm going to call every person and just go, hey man, it's been a long time. Love you. Hope you're well. Good to, I'm praying for you. Keep charging.
How awesome is that? He's going because he has more quiet time because he's a chiropractor.
Right.
And so not as many people are probably coming into his clinic, I would imagine.
Right.
And so instead of just sitting there and being like, why am I going to have... He's like, no, I'm going to use this time. I'm reading. I'm doing this course. I'm doing this with my other business. And then he's also... I love that he's going through his contacts on his phone and calling he said he's at the letter... C? He's only at C so far.
And he's been deleting people that are like... Some people that aren't even on the phone. Like, it don't even have that same number or whatever. No longer around on that.
But how cool is it that he's finding little ways to take action and make connections with friends and family and clients.
Totally.
in a cool way instead of
Right.
just sitting there like,
Yes.
oh,
That's when all of a sudden too, when you make that choice, conscious decision, I'm going to do something, right? It doesn't matter if it's like I'm going to go just get outside and take a walk. I'm going to get some movement in, get on my bike if you have a bike. Do something, right? Taking action all of a sudden takes you from the realm of stuck to unstuck.
yes.
And there all of a sudden becomes innovation opportunities. Yep. Opportunities present themselves too because you're not just sitting there with everything shut off and you shut in, right?
Yep.
It's totally opposite. But one thing we've noticed too is how much innovation can come from other people as well. That's why we're doing this as well. We want to give you ideas, encourage you, like Sophia said, not let you just get stuck because there are so many things, I mean, lists of stuff. I can give you an unending list that keeps continuing to grow on, technology can be used. Stuff that can be done with your business right here, right now. Ways to connect with others online using online medium, which is huge right now to be modular, to be mobile, to be able to have that setup. People are having to go right now, which is kind of crazy. We've heard a lot of these stories of like now I actually have to turn my little cubby hole or a garage or whatever into a small office because I can't go there anymore. I'm not, and I'm home now permanently, or however long this lasts. Think about that though.
Yeah. How are
There
we
are
going
so many ways.
Let's look at it in the positive and be grateful
Yes.
if we're home, healthy. Like, okay, so it was announced, I think it was last night.
Mm-hmm.
So we have another 30 days of quarantine. So the month of
Right.
April, so it's like, okay, instead of being like, oh my gosh, and looking at all of the negative, let's be like, hey, I've got a month to really go after and make some changes and make some improvements in my business. How can I, and just even doing a brainstorm of how can I do that? How can I better serve my clients? How can I better adjust during this time? How can I better love my spouse and my children? How can I just tell them how awesome and gorgeous they are and just love on them and release all that oxytocin in their bodies? But
Thank you.
So just taking that time to like, okay, it's the beginning of the month, first of the month. Even this is an added action step. This is a bonus action step. But taking like maybe 10 minutes and being like, okay, this is the beginning of the month.
Right.
Brainstorming, writing out some ideas of how can I make this an amazing month where I really like, what can I do to build on my dreams, build on my business, uplift my family even more during this time, and just make a list and be like, hey,
heck yeah,
I'm gonna go after some of these points and really nail them out, and look at that, because just like what Mike was saying, when we can step out, a big help to step out from that worry and that glue is to just take an action in some way. And then joy and gratitude and that shift starts to happen, right?
Yes. Now here's the slice between the two of just taking action and doing something for the sake of doing something, so you're not just kind of stuck in thinking, but there's also a next level which really can be productive, and that is taking the right action. So I want to encourage you guys, but before I get into that really quickly, Deanna hit on something pretty important.
Oh, yeah.
And then loving the hugs from people at church, like, grandbabies, physical contact, that's huge. And that is exactly what we're missing right now. We all are. We're like, come on, this stuff has to end. So we can get some hugs, get some physical, hey, man, pound the, fist bumps, give you, even if it's an elbow pump, but whatever. It's just like that contact does change things. And you are hitting on something pretty important. And we do not, say that is.
If we, honey, if we could give you hugs, we
seriously.
We were just talking about this actually. I think it was last night or maybe the night before, and how hard it would be, to be in lockdown by yourself. That would be really, really hard.
That's what she's saying.
And
too.
So we'll be praying for you just to have
heck yeah.
Just supernatural doses of God's love, and that you would feel His love for you and His peace over you in this time where you can't have those hugs from your grandbabies or from your family or from the members at your church. And just know we love you, and your family loves you. But we don't. I'm not trying to. It's gonna be a rat. Yes. But that's why we just pray God's love over you.
Yes, right now, that you are going to experience that beyond natural love, because it's going to go from this small little piece I was just mentioning, small little thing, this sliver to just massive and overflowing, that you can't help but just be like, man, thankful, gratitude, right? The heart just going to overflow. Because you said there is now newly extended lockdowns, but there is still a day, there is still a time to come that it's going to be done.
Yes.
Where it's no longer and imagine that. So keep hope, keep that
Yeah,
hope
keep
alive
the
for that
hope.
day, right? That's one key one to just encourage.
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh,
for
love you,
just sharing
girl.
being honest with us
Yeah.
too. And tell us too. I mean, if there's things going on, um,
Yes.
when it
Thank God
comes
for
to,
FaceTime.
that's right, FaceTime. It is useful, right? Everybody else used to make fun of that. Oh, why the heck would I ever show myself like, oh, it's supposed to be a phone call over your phone. No, this goes further than that. Like there actually is, like I'm sure you're experiencing. You get to see their smiles. You get to see their goofiness, silly, being grandkids playing, running around, just being there in that moment. You physically can see, and that's why we were saying the percentages, right? These percentages of how human contact, when you can't do it actually physically, even if it's just body language, that
Yeah, because you
changes
see
things.
then their body language,
Oh
and
man,
so you get that even more of that communication and that feel.
so good, so good.
So thankful that you can at least FaceTime with your family and
Yes,
see those little
huge,
babies
huge.
and see their and hear their giggles and see those smiles.
That's
And
right.
yeah.
That's right. And I'd be interested too to find out, business wise, things that are going on, work, that kind of things. Anybody has questions, like I'd love to hit on things that can be done to shift things economy wise, financially, things like that have been useful, right, in our own business, our company, but brands that we're working with, brands that have presented, hey, this problem, now what do we do with it? Coming up with innovative ways to share what can be flip the script. Because companies that are thinking, oh man, like, restaurants, I'm like, oh, there are so many changes. And Donald Miller, one of the key guys who
That's
turns
a
the
good
flip
book.
and
You should
flips it.
recommend that book. Like if you want to read a good book,
Absolutely.
where is that book?
I'll get that right now. I'll share with you. Show you guys real
Yeah,
quick.
so
Real quick.
Donald Miller is great. He's the guy who does Story Brand, and we follow him. Mike follows him, and he just recently came out with a book on marketing. I haven't started reading it, but Mike has, and he is going to grab it unless we don't know where it is. But that's okay. It's just his new. We can post a link later, but it's on marketing, and so it was just really, really good. And so just if you can hit us up for other resources, if you're like, hey, I want to take this time to really invest in or like grow my business, and that's a great resource. Again, we just launched our new website with all of our resources on there for free, so you can check those out. Did you find it?
Yes. So check it out. Ooh. Slip in here. So really quickly, it's from Donald Miller, The Marketing Made Simple, right? And they're actually doing a summit, which is pretty awesome. I can send the links to this too. Get a copy. It's just released, but they're doing a summit right now. You can sign up for some of this actually. There's a ton of content that's free right now, especially if you get the book, or at least pre-order the book and show that you got this coming to you, because they basically set up a series of videos that you can get rich ideas right here right now, as well as when you get the book, how you can formulate things to increase through times like this and manage marketing when all of a sudden the market drops, right, with fresh perspective. I mean, they're doing webinars, web classes, they're like stuff, they're opening up the doors to things. And a summit, like I was saying, it's actually going to be here soon. Instead of doing it live, and it's a big event with hotel room and all the other things was included, they've reduced that. It was like 3,000 down to like $900. High value. I think it's 3 to 4 days. Nothing but top level, how to increase in a brand, right? And go with like this explosive perspective of how, not only to increase your profits, make sure you're selling like you should be, like all these incredible topics they're going to hit on. building websites, making sure that they're built for increase, not just like we want to look
not
good.
just an information.
No,
like you've
no,
got
it's
to,
way more than that.
yeah,
Way more than
it's,
that. But
yeah.
think about this, just an example. So, for example, they're doing webinars and they're asking questions, and people on the topic right now, of course, talking about the virus. He doesn't like, negativity. He's a more positive guy. He says that too. He's like, I get negative context coming to me because I'm always in a good mood. Like, hey, I'm gonna flip this. That can be turned into something else, and it could be like he's just innovative, right? And comes up with great ideas where people were calling in, and if you hear him, it's not like,
I love that.
ooh, I don't know. That's a bummer. Oh, that stinks because I don't even know what to tell you. It's more like, whoa, wait a minute. Restaurants, guys shutting? Wait a minute. If I had a restaurant, I know it would be still pumping because I have great ideas and just making this whole thing flip on its head, use it for the opportunity, start preparing for all of a sudden when people can come into my restaurant, physically have this, and have numbers just go increase like crazy. But people were asking questions like this, like,
I love the flowers. The flowers,
flowers, yes,
good.
his sister's business. That's what I was going to hit on. His sister's business. So she runs a flower shop, right? And they were like, oh, people around her, you're going to end up closing your business because, people, they're not going to walk up and go into your shop any longer. They can't go. No. He's like, she's doing awesome. You know why? Because people need to get some piece of contact of love from another person that can't see them in person and go, here, boom, I'm at least going to send you a card connected to these flowers, order online, boom, send them to them, deliver like everyone else is getting stuff delivered, and show up with that boom moment of, wow, they're thinking of me. They care. And so guess what? That's what she's saying. Use this opportunity that what I have to offer,
and it can
to
be,
boom, share that. And it's human connection that's going, oh, wow, like that's changing everything. So think about that.
Yeah. And I think that delivery is like one of the simplest, and I know a lot of people are doing it.
Yes.
But then thinking about how you can do that with a little bit of extra love in the touch points, like a note, or so there's always ways to go above and beyond. And
that's right.
But that's I love like, we're seeing like kombucha companies like doing ads now, like we'll deliver your kombucha straight to your door, and like making it fun. Like, so there's lots of different, we've had other friends incorporate deliveries as well into their business, and other just awesome service points. And now is the time to serve, and that's what we keep coming back to is, this is a time, it's not going to be forever, but if we can serve our clients and go above and beyond during this time, just think about how much that will mean to them on the other side of this, and so we just can't encourage you enough to really think outside the box, and then to just really pour in, like, how can I bless and serve even more right now?
Right. Think about this. So people are going through the crunch of like, oh snap, I lost my position. I might be part-time now. I got to get sent home. I work from home. And then legally, there's some stuff that maybe I need to know. Well, guess what? Attorneys, guys that are attorneys, we have several friends that are taking advantage of that, but thinking, how can I put into my community by setting up maybe even a Facebook group or something that's going to be like, hey, come in and ask questions. I'll get you through those legal issues that you might have, employment problems. Let me give you some free advice in that context of where do you go? What resources can I get to? Getting the stimulus, if people have
like
applied
the small
for that.
business loans.
What's that look like?
Yeah, that would be great. Like if you're in finance, like offering that free, like doing the research obviously for yourself, so you're super knowledgeable in that area, but then opening it up to being able to be like, hey, I'm going to guide you for free. Like anyone who has questions about, getting a small business loan, here I'm doing this live video, or you can do this Zoom call, jump on the Zoom call with me.
Right.
And just make sure that it's not too salesy. Like that, we can't stress that enough, that that you're really doing it from a place of the heart to help, because that's what's going to really sell you is that caringness, and not the actual trying to get the sale.
You said it. So, exactly that. Real estate. People are really wondering.
Answering questions about a real estate. Yeah.
Should I buy a home right now?
Like the market.
The market's going down. It's bear market. This, that, and the other. Like you might have insight. in so many ways, setting yourself up with a, especially the live video like we're doing now, just set up a simple, like, we can send you links. We've done this actually for a friend, Pam. She's awesome. She's like, I
And
want to start
yeah.
pouring into people in my leadership skills and what they can be doing as a coach and business, all that right now, and not just go and kind of put yourself in the corner and just like feel like I'm trapped, right? That same feeling. So she's going and she just bought send her some links, but she's basically getting a ring light around where you mount into your smartphone. So you put the smartphone onto the stand. It already has a ring light. Boom, press record, start going live, doing videos, encouraging, answering questions live. What can I do to help?
For your industry, like
huge.
That would be huge. Just being there, I think right now for people and showing that coming, getting ourselves out of the worry and out of fear and being like, hey, I'm going to pull myself out of that, and then I'm going to encourage and be a resource for others in my industry, in my wheelhouse where I have the most knowledge to help, to answer questions, and just that kind of stuff is what we can be doing right now.
Right, because then you're setting yourself up too for when things go back and turn around, the market starts picking back up, which we see it probably going pretty straight up, not just like slope, but boom. We're
not financial advisors or anything.
Right, we are not, but we just
we know that this is going to pass.
Yes, so. It's going to. And when it does, when people start coming out of the woodwork, guess who they're going to be going to? Because you've put out the content, you've been reaching out, you've been connecting, still hoping, giving people messages of hope, instilling encouragement, giving them those words of wisdom, advice, setting yourself up too as an authoritative person that has the knowledge, right, and understanding, has a heart for people. Dude, guess what? You're going to be the first person they're going to tell others to go to. And this is awesome. David just sent David Ewing, awesome point. Lost your position, your job, your hours. It says you or we did not lose your assignment.
Amen.
That's huge.
Amen.
Huge. The assignment has not shifted. That is not different. Yes, those things that are circumstances that have shifted. But here's what I agree with you 100%, David, and seeing things from that assignment position where you're up here watching the circumstances below change, but you don't move from that assignment. I agree with you 100%.
It's like God's given you an assignment. 100%. You have an assignment purpose, and I know Mike's all pumped from that, Dave, which I love. And but it's so true. And but just think about like how Mike was saying, how when we're there, when you're there for people during the hard times,
right?
Think about how that you remember that. Like I remember still, like when we first had Alexander, I remember every person who brought us a meal, like, because I got really sick after Alexander was born, and it was just a rough time for our family. Yeah. And so the people who came and brought us meals, it was just like, it just touched my heart so much. That was 9 years ago, and I still remember it. So just when we're going through hard times, people remember those people who really took that extra step and cared for them, and didn't try to monetize on their pain, on their stuff. You got to be real careful there, like in your wording and come from that place of the heart of I want to care, I want to serve for my community during this time.
Amen. Yep, I agree 100%. Definitely say, once this is all said and done, when we look back, it's going to be interesting because it has changed the culture. It has shifted things, right? But when we come out on the other side of this and we're looking back and we got to pick up our bootstraps and keep going, right? There's that opportunity that has now come from all the time that you've put in this effort, this love, the sharing, the caring, all these messages, even if it's producing a bunch of videos, writing articles, things that I know that people have been holding off on, like writing a book. Now they're down and getting busy writing their book, right? Boom, it's time to come back and say, look, this is what's come out of that time. During the craziness, during the hardship, during the testing, during this trial period or whatever you want to call it. If you see it like that, stuff that could be squeezed out of you, is it going to be juice that's like fresh, right? Is it going to be that whole squeeze out of you, and do you get like that, the goodness,
the good juices,
the goods,
I know.
Right?
What is it that's coming out of us when we get squeezed, right,
Right,
babe?
right. Is it Jesus? Is it something that people can go, ooh, wow, that person has loved us like crazy, like Christ, right? Or is it more like, wow, they just shut off, they turned into something different,
And
I
it's
don't even
bitter
know them?
juice that's coming out. I don't want to have
Ew.
anything to do with that.
So let's make sure, as that orange, you squeeze it, you get orange juice, right? It's good, it's tasty, it's fresh.
Because it
Let's
has the
stay fresh.
nutrients, the good nutrients. And that goes back to what I
Nutrients.
talked about
Oh,
last
man.
week was like what we're feeding our bodies. So
That's
like,
right.
let's get the good nutrients. Like
Yes.
Nacho Libre says.
Yes, absolutely.
Get those good nutrients.
Oh,
Feed
heck
our
yeah.
soul, feed our mind, our body.
That's right.
With the good stuff so that as we're kind of getting squeezed as a nation,
Yeah.
as a world right
Oh,
now,
man.
that the good juice
Yes.
flows.
Absolutely. Let us know if there's any, like, if you need advice in some context of online marketing, online business growth, on websites. We've got everything from the brand itself to the marketing side, resources. Again, we've got a huge course as well, a master class.
Yeah, we've got
from
tons
A to
of
Z on how to do it all.
So anyone
right?
who wants to
Yes.
build their brands, work on their marketing, launch an e-commerce course,
Right.
hit us up. It's
Yes.
free content. We just
Free.
want to encourage as
100%.
many people as we can during this quarantine time to go after it.
Right on, Lance.
Aw.
Thanks. Appreciate it. He's like looking good even in the quarantine. Bam! Gotta keep it real, right? And keep movement. That's a huge thing. So
Yeah.
don't neglect. We've got, that's what we're saying even too. So the health realm. If you're talking about, man, I want to eat right, we've got tips and stuff and ideas and even links we can send you to do some movement just indoors, right? Just to get a quick 15-minute movement
Oh yeah, him
throughout the
and
day.
Alexandra. I don't do
Boom.
it because obviously it probably wouldn't be so good.
Ah,
But they
right,
do
right.
this hit workout. They have 2 different ones that they do. Dang,
good.
they get. We have a spin bike.
Nice.
We've been into the spin bikes before Peloton was on the market. We love spin bikes. Get a spin bike. We can't recommend enough.
Sorry.
Anyways, I lost Mike in the comments. He's
yeah,
not
it's funny.
answering back.
Actually, really quickly though, order of operations for launching business during Corona. So he's asking. Sorry, I didn't mean to put the laugh comment on that whatsoever. I was meaning to do the
There's like a
previous
serious
comment.
question, and Mike's like giving the laughing emoji.
Right. I was actually meant to put the laugh on the good, looking good during this quarantine comment. But order of operations for launching business during Corona.
It's a great question.
Awesome question. Because there is an order. You definitely don't want to just go blasting, right? This whole, we've heard a lot of this perfect market fit, right? A lot of things like, oh, what if should I test first? Should I put it out there and see what people are getting this thing ready and then set up and then go and launch the business and things like that. So in all actuality, when it comes to operations,
I would say you can't go. We wouldn't recommend. We've talked about this a little bit.
right?
Putting out, launching stuff like nothing is going on. We wouldn't recommend in the
right.
sense of just being like it's business as usual. Like
Right.
you're new to the you're new to the, you're
True,
new on the
true.
street.
That's good.
The best way we think that to come out and launch a business right now is going back. I know it's going to sound maybe boring or simple, not so flashy, but is that service. Like, hey, how can you really go above and beyond with the business you're wanting to launch right now to serve others and come out with that service? Not that you have to be, we don't mean to be all about Corona,
Right.
absolutely not, but
Right.
just be sensitive and be relevant to what's going on now and all of the difficulties and things that people are facing. And not to go to the negative, but just be aware and just come with that heart of service as you're coming up with your launch strategy and make sure to incorporate that into that strategy.
Most definitely.
And then making sure that you have tests, like we always recommend is it depends on what kind of business you're launching, but even if
Right,
it's
that's
a
huge
food company, whether if it's a protein company, a supplement company, or if it's a service-based company, having people try your product, try your services, even for free. I know a lot of people
True.
they're like, wait, I want to make money right off the bat.
Right.
But really building up that case study
this is
for
the
your
time.
new brand, your new business.
Yeah.
Building that up first so that you can come up with you come out the gate with case studies, with testimonials, with reviews,
Right
with
off the bat.
yeah, that you can use. So
Exactly.
So reviews and stuff if it's like a physical product.
Right.
But then case studies of how you help them. Let's say it's a some kind of a marketing or
Exactly.
company that
That's
you
a
brought
huge
them
one.
you did it for free, like, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do it. It will pay off if you're quality and you can produce results. Then
Big
you'll have
time.
that case study to bring to future clients and say, hey, I got this company, this brand new company, to go from 0 to 6 figures in a month,
Right.
and be able to show that.
Exactly. Especially if it's in the tech space, like, software as a service, courses. I mean, it really doesn't cut and slice into one arena. I think it goes across all, but especially in those that people can get a trial, test it, use it, give you feedback immediately. You've got the advantage of when all of a sudden this becomes an open market and you've got people you want to drive to. But people that are needing this right now, this resource, so say you have a resource, it's awesome, it's a service or resource that they can get their hands on and start using right now. This is the time to be pouring it in like Sophia and setting it up for these people to get free access, even if it's 30 days. I've seen up to 60 days now, especially since they've like extended this lockdown for nationally and all that stuff here in the US, where you could be saying, like, because people are going through stuff, I want you to have that open opportunity till this point. See what get your hands on it, get used to it, use it, put it to practice, and you'll get immediate high value first, and then boom, they will come back with, man, you not only did you go above and beyond, you gave us this opportunity. I would even include this process of step by step what comes from them initially using it, give them a little bit of advice what they're going to get out of it, right? And use this as a piece to guide them, be that guide for them as they're going through it, because then you have that initial contact, gain information from them also as well. Maybe in exchange for, hey, top 25 uses for this are, so that you also define who this fits for. Top 25 uses or whatever, or it could be 10 that this is going to be good for, and then people kind of already self-identify, oh well, that doesn't make sense for me. So you're removing those people that really doesn't make sense to, and then people that are seeing this like, whoa, yes, that's me, I self-identify, I could see myself, all these elements that he's laying out for me, I'm going to put to use, so I'm in, jump in, commit to maybe a bit, saying, hey, give me your email for a little bit of insight too of what this can do for growth, increase, however this looks. Not knowing your business per se right now, and then maybe we have, because David, you're talking about something that has to do with if it is online, it's set up for an online business, and that productivity level needs to increase to be able to go and see numbers, right? That is something that can be useful right now, especially in the email side. So email list, heck yeah.
Yeah, right now is the time
yes.
to build your email. Like Mike was saying, it's really good, and is building that foundation during this time, is like building that trust, going above and beyond and servicing, getting that social proof, doing all those things right now.
Right.
And then, but you can still, I wanted to also point out that you don't have to give away to free for everyone.
Right.
You could just contact some people who you know that hey, my product or my service is going to be a really good fit for, probably a really good fit for this person, this person, this person, and reach out to them individually and say, hey, I'm going to launch this. I'd really love for you to be part of, this case study to, we're testing this product. We want to test this service.
Right.
Would you be willing to do that or up for it? That way you don't have to you're not like, oh, it's free for everyone. But I want to really serve these. I know that I'm a fit for this person, their industry and their industry. I'm going to take on 1 or maybe 3 or whatever the number is for your capacity, and then do a really good job with them. And you could still launch though, while you're doing those case studies. You could do a soft launch now, and then come up with and you having more case studies and more social proof and more of that foundation as the big launch later on. So there's,
Yeah, that's excellent.
yeah.
Think about this too. If you're willing to take the time right now, especially and do the writing side, I mean, digitally design, obviously this comes into part as well, but taking the time to write in a caring way that as if you're going to present to your best friend some advice and you say, this can be used in this, 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 and this. Make that list out. Then from the list, you can turn that into a small portion where you're turning it into a top 10 list, right? That can become the PDF. You make that design, make that nice, send that out to people who will exchange for the email. The other side of that is too the emails that follow through. Those thank yous and they say, hey, appreciate you getting this list. Now I want to take it even further, and you can build out a 25 email drip in short context, sometimes even on video. Again, use your smartphone. Don't have to get crazy. Get a light, boom, or get some natural light. You're in California, come on, and then boom, just set up your phone. Talk to them. What is it that you're seeing useful through this list that you've already built? And then do a 25 email drip on things that are applicable to take them to next level success and support to that list.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right?
Now's the time to do all of
man.
like, if it's quiet and maybe you can't launch until
Right.
I don't know, if it's quiet and you can't launch until this whole quarantine is over.
Right.
Now's the time to build out your email drips. Holy cow, those are like the time consuming things. And
Yes.
but if you can't, let's say you can't launch because it's a brick and mortar or something where it
Right.
needs to be after the quarantine or the lockdown. Dang, build out those email lists
Yes,
now.
that's massive right now.
Get
This
those
is the time.
sequences done.
This is the time.
Yeah.
Top 10 key things to why you want to use this resource, right? Or
But remember, always service. So it's not an email campaign that's
Right.
just sales and pushy sales.
Right.
Like build out those quality campaigns where you're
Yes.
going to be like,
You're
hey,
giving,
you're
giving,
you're
contributing.
adding value.
That's exactly
But
right.
then also always having a call to action. We don't. We're all about giving,
That's
but we're
exactly
all about
right.
results.
I wasn't going to let that
Yes.
slide.
So it's
at
like
the end
you
of
give,
everything.
but then you want to produce results for your company. So there's always got to be a call to action. Like so on your
Every time.
website, like make sure if you're launching a business. Oh my gosh, we could talk for like 3 hours on this,
So
Jay.
good. This is excellent, though. This is the kind of stuff we wanted to hit on, too.
But your website, like, look at your website not just to inform, but lead them down, and not just to sell right off the bat either, but to lead them down that sales process.
Right.
Like, think of as you're constructing your website, and I love he does similar to us
Yeah,
too.
he does.
It's like
That's true.
how to set up your the framework of your
Yes.
website, your homepage, and he does
Excellent.
our kind of
Excellent.
methodology is very similar to his, and
framing.
setting up your homepage as a landing page. Don't
Yes.
just look at it as, oh, I'm putting stuff out to inform. It's like no. That
Yeah,
homepage is
information.
that sales page, and then you have that specific call to action.
True.
Throughout your entire website, and it's one specific
Yes.
call to action. And I don't know how I got off on this, but anyways,
Well, every element of that.
yes,
that's
having
a
call to action.
huge call to action.
You always
on
want call to
different.
action.
So think of it this way too. When you close on the call to action, make it so clear and specific on an action you want them to take, and it doesn't have to be the same thing every time, right? Where a lot of people do that as, okay, now go buy, now go get my book, now go to and purchase my service, or now go book an appointment, and that says it on every email or on every part of their landing page. Go and book an appointment, right? If that's what you're wanting to do, great, but make sure that you're also kind of setting them up for what's going to happen when you do commit to making a phone call.
So they
what
know
are they doing that
what
for?
they're going to get
Right?
out of it. So it's
Yes.
not just like, because if you just say, yeah, schedule your consultation now, it's like, okay, but what is that? Am I just going to get sold? What am I actually getting out of
Yes.
this consultation?
Yes.
What am I?
Yes. Think of it, that is an opportunity to contribute too. We always
Yes.
call this contribution first.
Contribution marketing.
Contribution marketing, making sure you're give, and if that opportunity presents itself for you to go, hey, this is what I have to offer, it's up to you, boom, you choose, but they've already been given so much that high value has been placed in their court, they're holding on to it, and they're just like, this is amazing, that when you do present an offer, it's like, yes, this truly makes sense, I'd much rather work with you. You know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, as well as when it's clear what they're going to receive during a phone call, and you have like an idea, could be just like, hey, when we do get on the call, it's going to be locked down for this much time.
And stick to that time.
Stick to that time. Respect it.
Don't be like what are those called? The timeshare?
Suckers.
Oh. Sorry if you're in that industry, but I can't stand
industry.
One time, never again.
Right, you're already locked in for an hour.
Well, because they promised, at least our experience was not good. It went way past the time. So keep it to the time. Keep it to what you say you're going to give them.
Yes.
What they're going to receive.
No one's wanting to go on a vacation and get locked down for 2 hours to talk about potentially buying a property. Sorry. But in that same context, here's what we're talking about. You have the opportunity to say, we're going to have a conversation for this much time, right? And hopefully we're in the right ballpark. But you're saying this much time, I'm going to have this discussion. And draw out some questions from them that really make sense for how you to get to know them, understand their problems, understand their pains, really get to the nitty gritty of what really
and just
happens.
Those
the
few
nitty gritty,
questions.
right? And then fully dial yourself in with maybe a turnaround. Say, hey, within another hour, just give me your email. I'll send you my prognosis, my assessment, what my recommendations are, so you have a plan of action to do. Even if you don't choose to work with me, you're walking away with something that's going to give you beneficial.
That's exactly what we do.
Boom.
That's
because not on every time, not every call, but
I mean, like on our call to action on our website,
we do that.
So that's what our call to action is.
True.
And we
you want to
spell
schedule
out
like
what they're going to get, and that's what we do. We have a short call and we ask a few questions, which then gives us the information to come back with.
Right. We go a little bit further because it's a brand build, and also there's a lot of elements to this that could be simplified, and that's kind of what we've done. We've done like a 45-minute call, and after that call, they immediately are going to get a breakdown of brand assessment, action steps to take for their marketing, and as well as our feedback on what shifts they should be taking. Right, to make sure that they're hitting this market right. So it's kind of a compact system that comes back to them. We appreciate you guys. We're thankful though. Hopefully you guys got some rich stuff out of that. And we're going to keep going. Next week we'll be on again. Same time, Wednesday, midday. Noon. And let's keep cracking, right? At
taking action.
Right?
What
and
can be done.
Action. What can be done. Right? Taking the right actions to help, build up. Not only yourself, but those that you're with, your family, and those people that you have the ability to connect with online, phone calls, whatever it is. Be encouraged. Don't let this stuff drag you down and pull you into a lock zone where your fear factor, worries, all the other things just drain you, right, and suck you in. Go after it. Stay
and remember,
after it.
So we'll just stick with that one action. I like that one that came out of all of this is, since it's the first of the month, take that 10, 15 minutes. Write out a list. Okay, what action steps can I take to launch my business, to grow my brand, to increase my marketing, to get my email campaign going, and then also take this couple seconds to how can I pour into my family too during this time, and really make an effort to I just got an idea for you.
Oh, nice!
I can make home date night. Make sure to get Alexander to bed early. But see. So anyways, we're going to do it. We challenge you to do it. And we just love you guys. We believe in you. And
big time. Big time. Have a great one. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
See you guys.